When something ends, it can feel heavy. It may be the end of a relationship, a job, a dream, or even a stage of life. Endings often leave us with silence, and in that silence we may hear the sound of loss. We may carry questions like, "What did I do wrong?" or "Why could it not last?" These thoughts can stay with us and create a shadow in our hearts. But endings are not only about loss, they are also about space. When one door closes, there is emptiness. And in that emptiness, there is a quiet invitation. Life whispers, "You can begin again." It may not be loud, and it may not be clear, but it is always there. The weight of endings teaches us that nothing is permanent. And because nothing is permanent, the chance to start again is always possible. Sometimes we want a new beginning to be bright and full of energy, but often it is gentle. It may be as small as waking up in the morning and deciding to try once more. It may be as simple as opening our eyes and choosing to take one step. The call to start again is not about forgetting the past. It is about carrying its lessons without letting it hold us down. Each ending, no matter how painful, holds within it a seed of renewal. If we listen closely, we may hear life reminding us, "This is not the end of you. This is the beginning of something new." When we think about beginning again, we often imagine something big. We may picture a complete change in life, a sudden burst of energy, or a strong and confident new start. But most of the time, beginnings are not like this. They are quiet, they are small, and they ask for courage that is often invisible to others. Taking a first step can feel almost too simple. It might be writing down one thought, making one phone call, or walking outside for just a few minutes. These actions may not look important from the outside, but inside, they are full of meaning. They are proof that we have not given up. They show that the heart still believes in movement, even if it is slow. Many people wait for a perfect moment to begin again. But the truth is that there is no perfect moment. Life becomes new when we dare to take a single step. It may not lead us where we expect, but it opens a path. That path can only appear once we move, even in the smallest way. Courage is not always loud. It does not always look like a great act. Sometimes, courage is simply the choice to rise in the morning and face the day. Sometimes it is the choice to smile, even when the heart feels heavy. These small acts are not less powerful. In fact, they may be the strongest of all. So when life asks you to begin again, do not worry if your step is small. What matters is that it is real. Within that first step, however quiet, there is a seed of courage that can grow into a whole new life. When we stand at the edge of something new, fear often appears. It tells us stories about failure. It whispers that we are too old, too weak, or too late. Fear can feel like a heavy wall, blocking the way forward. Many people stop here. They see fear as a sign to turn back. But fear is not the end. Fear is not a wall. It is a doorway. Every doorway makes us pause. We do not always know what is on the other side. Fear works in the same way. It shows us that we are about to enter unknown space. Of course, the unknown feels uncomfortable. Of course, the heart beats faster. But these feelings mean that life is opening, not closing. Fear appears because change is close. If we step through the doorway of fear, we discover something surprising. The fear itself begins to shrink. It loses its power as soon as we walk into it. On the other side, there is often more light, more freedom, and more hope than we imagined. What once looked impossible begins to feel possible simply because we did not stop. To begin again, we do not need to destroy fear. We only need to see it differently. Fear is a sign that we are alive, that we are growing, that we are moving. It is a reminder that our heart is still open to change. So when fear stands before you, remember, it is not a final wall. It is a doorway waiting for your step. Beyond it, a new beginning is ready to welcome you. When we begin again, we often want quick results. We wish for the new path to open smoothly, for progress to be clear, and for comfort to return at once. But beginnings are rarely like that. Just as a seed takes time before it becomes a tree, a new start takes time before it shows its fruit. Patience is the wisdom that helps us walk this path without giving up. Patience is not the same as waiting without action. It is the steady strength to continue even when results are not yet visible. When we plant a seed, we do not dig it up each day to see if it has grown. We water it, we give it sunlight, and we trust the hidden work that is happening beneath the soil. In the same way, patience means trusting that our small steps, repeated day after day, are shaping a future we cannot yet see. Without patience, beginnings can feel disappointing. We may judge ourselves too quickly. We may believe that nothing is changing. But with patience, we allow growth to unfold naturally. We understand that slow progress is still progress, and that even silence and stillness can be part of the journey. To begin again with patience is to walk gently with ourselves. It means accepting that mistakes and pauses will come, but they do not erase the path. They are part of it. Each day becomes another chance to water the seed of a new life, and each day of patience gives that seed more strength. In this way, patience is not only waiting. It is the quiet wisdom that protects the fragile beauty of a new beginning until it is strong enough to stand on its own. When we begin again, pride can easily stand in the way. We may want to appear strong, to show others that we know what we are doing, or to prove that we do not need help. But every true beginning asks us to be humble. It asks us to accept that we are learning, that we are fragile, and that we cannot control everything. Humility is not weakness. It is the gentle strength that allows us to open a new chapter with honesty. Humility teaches us to bow before life itself. It shows us that we are not above mistakes, and that failure is part of being human. When we accept this, we are free from the heavy burden of always needing to be perfect. We can take small steps without fear of looking foolish. We can try again without shame. Humility also opens the door to connection. When we admit that we cannot carry everything alone, we create space for others to walk with us. A new beginning often feels less heavy when we allow ourselves to receive kindness, guidance, or support. In this way, humility is not about lowering ourselves. It is about opening our hearts to truth and to relationship. There is a quiet beauty in beginning again with humility. It allows us to see life not as a test to win, but as a journey to share. It reminds us that every ending and every new chapter is part of something larger than our own story. When pride closes the way, humility gently opens it. And through that opening, we discover the freedom to start again, not with fear, but with honesty, gratitude, and peace. To begin again often means stepping into a place we do not fully understand. The ground beneath us feels uncertain. We cannot see the full path. We do not know what tomorrow will bring. At such times, doubt can rise easily. We may wonder if we are strong enough, or if we will lose what little we have. Yet it is in this very uncertainty that trust has the chance to grow. Trust does not mean ignoring fear or pretending that everything will be simple. Trust is the choice to keep walking even when we cannot see the whole road. It is the soft voice inside that says, "Take one more step. Life will hold you." When the ground feels unsteady, trust teaches us to balance not with control, but with openness. Think of a bridge covered in mist. We cannot see the other side, but we take one step, then another. With each step, the bridge proves it can carry us. Trust grows in the same way. It is not built all at once. It grows each time we dare to move forward despite the fog. Uncertainty can make us feel weak, but in truth, it is shaping our strength. It teaches us to live without always knowing. It reminds us that life itself is uncertain, and yet here we are, breathing, living, beginning again. Trust grows slowly, but once it takes root, it carries us through places we never thought we could cross. So when the ground beneath you feels uncertain, remember, this is not the end of your path. It is the place where trust begins to bloom, step by step, quietly and surely. Every new beginning carries hope. We may imagine how things will turn out, and we may feel energy rising as we take our first steps. But often, the road is not smooth. We face delays, failures, or results that do not match our dreams. Disappointment can appear quickly, and it can feel like a heavy stone pressing down on the spirit. In such moments, many people give up. Yet it is exactly here that the heart is asked to stay open. Disappointment is not proof that we have chosen the wrong path. It is proof that we are alive, moving, and willing to risk ourselves for something new. To meet disappointment with courage is to say, this is not the end. This is part of the journey. Every great story has chapters of struggle. Our own lives are no different. When we face disappointment, it helps to remember that the value of a step is not measured only by its success. The act of trying itself carries meaning. Each attempt shapes us, teaches us, and prepares us for what comes next. What looks like failure today may be the foundation for tomorrow's strength. To keep the heart alive in disappointment, we must treat ourselves gently. We must allow sadness, but not let it become our master. We can rest, breathe, and then stand again. The heart grows deeper, not in easy times, but in times when it chooses to continue, despite the weight it carries. Disappointment is not the end of courage. It is the place where courage is tested and made real. By not losing heart, we discover that beginning again is always possible, even after the heaviest fall. In moments of beginning again, we often feel pressure to act quickly. The mind says, do something now, move fast, prove that you are strong. But true strength is not always found in speed or action. Many times it is discovered in silence and stillness. When the world around us is loud, and when our own thoughts are restless, silence becomes a hidden refuge. Stillness is not emptiness. It is the ground where the heart can rest. When we allow ourselves to sit quietly, we give space for our feelings to settle. We may notice pain, sadness, or fear, but we also begin to notice calm. In that calm, we touch a strength that does not depend on circumstances. It is not loud or dramatic, but it is steady and deep. Silence teaches us that we do not need to fill every moment with noise or answers. It allows us to hear the quiet rhythm of life itself. Stillness reminds us that we do not need to run to prove our worth. In simply being, we find that we are already enough. From this place of rest, new beginnings can grow naturally, without force. When life feels heavy, stillness can seem useless, as if it is wasting time. But in truth, it is in stillness that our energy returns. Just as the earth renews itself in winter before the spring, we also need silence to gather new life within us. Strength is not always about pushing harder. Sometimes it is about sitting quietly, listening, and letting life itself support us. In silence and stillness, we discover that the power to begin again is already waiting inside. There is a belief in many societies that beginnings belong to the young. People say, it is too late, or your chance has passed. But life does not measure worth by age. The chance to begin again belongs to every stage of life. In fact, there is a quiet dignity in choosing a new path later in life, because such a choice carries wisdom, experience, and depth. When we are young, beginnings often come with excitement and bold energy. But later in life, beginnings are different. They are less about proving something and more about living with truth. Each step taken is more thoughtful, more intentional. The heart knows what has already been lost and what cannot return, and so each new choice is made with greater care. This gives later beginnings a beauty that is often hidden from the eyes of the world. To begin again after many years also shows great courage. It is not easy to change habits, to step into new territory, or to face the voices that say, "It is too late for you." But each time a person chooses to start anew, they shine as an example that life is not finished until the final breath. Every day is still an open door. There is dignity in this kind of beginning. It does not shout, but it shines with quiet strength. It tells us that we are never too old to love, to learn, to dream, or to grow. The later chapters of life can be filled with renewal, and perhaps even with the deepest meaning of all. A new beginning later in life is not smaller. It is often greater, because it carries the whole story of who we have become. When we begin again, we often want everything to be perfect. We hope not to repeat the same errors, and we dream of a smooth path without difficulty. But life does not work this way. Mistakes will come, no matter how careful we are. They are not enemies to fight against. They are companions that walk beside us on the journey. Mistakes show us where we are human. They remind us that learning does not happen in a straight line. Each wrong turn carries a lesson, and each fall teaches us how to rise again. Without mistakes, there would be no growth. Without mistakes, we would remain the same, never challenged, never stretched beyond what we already know. It is easy to feel shame when we fail. The mind repeats, "You should have known better. You should not have fallen." But the truth is different. Every person who has walked the path of life has stumbled. What matters is not avoiding every mistake, but learning how to meet them with honesty. If we can say, "Yes, I fell, but I will stand again," then the mistake has already served its purpose. To accept mistakes as companions is to walk more gently with ourselves. It allows us to continue without the heavy weight of perfection. It frees us from fear and gives us the courage to try again. When mistakes appear, do not push them away. Welcome them as teachers, even if their lessons are painful. Each one can show us something new about patience, resilience, and strength. And in this way, mistakes do not block the path. They become part of it, guiding us toward a wiser beginning each time. Life is always changing. Nothing stays the same, no matter how much we wish it would. The seasons shift, the body ages, and relationships rise and fall. At first, this truth of impermanence can feel painful. We may want to hold tightly to what we love, or to keep things as they are forever. Yet if we look more deeply, impermanence is not only loss, it is also the source of our resilience, the strength that allows us to begin again. Because everything changes, no failure is final, no sadness lasts forever. Even the heaviest night eventually gives way to morning. When we understand this, we find the courage to keep moving. We learn that we do not need to escape change, but to flow with it. Each ending is not a closed door but a turning of the page. The resilience is not about being unshaken or untouched. It is about returning after we fall. It is about finding the strength to rise again and again, no matter how many times life pulls us down. Impermanence gives us this gift, because it means that no state, whether joy or sorrow, can stay forever. When we live with this understanding, we no longer fear change as much. We see it as a natural rhythm, the heartbeat of existence. Even in difficult times, we know that life will not remain stuck. Something new will always come. This knowledge gives us a deep trust, a steady resilience that cannot be broken by a single event. The strength to begin again is born from this truth. Because all things pass, the chance to renew ourselves is always near. Impermanence is not an enemy. It is the quiet teacher that shows us how to endure, adapt, and rise once more. There are times in life when the path ahead is hard to see. We may feel lost between an ending and a beginning, standing in a space that feels empty and uncertain. Questions rise within us. Which way should I go? What if I choose wrongly? In such moments, the mind searches for answers, but often none appear. It is here that returning to the heart becomes our guide. The heart does not always give us clear directions, but it offers something more important. It gives us honesty. When we sit quietly and listen, we may feel what is true for us, even if the next step is still hidden. The heart speaks in a softer language than the mind. It does not push or demand. It simply shows us where we feel alive and where we feel empty. When the way forward is unclear, we do not need to see the whole road. We only need to take one step that feels true to the heart. It may be a small act of kindness, a simple word of truth, or the choice to rest rather than force ourselves forward. These gentle steps slowly open the path, like a lantern lighting the darkness, one circle at a time. Returning to the heart also means forgiving ourselves for not knowing everything. It means accepting that uncertainty is part of being human. In this acceptance, we find peace, and in that peace, the courage to try again. The heart is not a map, but it is a compass. When the way is unclear, the heart quietly points us toward life, and if we follow it, step by step, the path will slowly appear beneath our feet. Every new beginning, no matter how small, carries a certain beauty. It may not shine like fireworks or announce itself with great noise, but it is full of quiet light. To begin again is to say yes to life once more, even after loss, even after failure, even after pain. This simple yes is powerful, and it deserves to be honored. The beauty of a fresh beginning is not in perfection. It is in the courage to open the door when the past has tried to keep it closed. It is in the gentle willingness to take one more step, even if the last step was difficult. Each beginning, whether it is a new day, a new friendship, or a new dream, holds within it the possibility of transformation. To honor a new beginning is to notice it. Often, we move so quickly that we do not see the small moments of renewal that life gives us. Waking up each morning is itself a beginning. Taking a breath after sorrow is a beginning. Choosing kindness after anger is a beginning. When we see these moments clearly, we understand how often life offers us the chance to start again. Honoring a beginning also means treating it with respect. We do not need to rush it or demand results too soon. Instead, we can hold it gently, like a small flame that needs care to grow. With attention and gratitude, that flame can become a steady light, guiding us forward. Each beginning is a reminder that life is not finished with us. It tells us that renewal is always possible. And when we honor this truth, even the smallest start becomes a moment of great beauty. Life gives us many beginnings, and they do not always appear in great events. Sometimes, the most important beginning happens in a single breath. When we breathe in, we welcome life. When we breathe out, we release what has passed. Each breath is a reminder that renewal is close, always waiting, always possible. No matter what has happened, no matter how many times we have fallen, this moment is never closed to us. With every breath, we can choose again. We can soften the weight of regret, we can open the door to hope, and we can take one more step into a new chapter. This is not something far away. It is here, in the rhythm of our own breathing. To begin again does not require a perfect plan or a sudden burst of strength. It requires only the willingness to notice the gift of the present moment. In each breath, life whispers, You are alive. You can begin again. If we can hear this whisper, we discover that renewal is not rare. It is the very fabric of life itself. As I close these reflections, I would like to express my deep gratitude to you. Your presence here is a gift. To those who have shared kindness through likes, subscriptions, comments, super thanks, or membership, I am sincerely thankful. Your support allows these words to reach more people who may also need a gentle reminder of hope. May each breath you take remind you of your own strength, your own resilience, and your own endless capacity to begin again.